I think there's only one fundamental problem with the game that every issue in the entire game stems from. There's only one thing in the entire game that I'm actually like legitimately upset about, that I think ruins the game. The only thing that's actually, and this might sound like me being a beta cucks rise up, is the matchmaking, and not the skill rating system. It's just that there's no way from the big players falling indefinitely, right? The only thing I ever fucking hear, something just fell off my desk. The only thing I ever fucking hear is APGAINS. I'm 1 million GP. My opponent is 6.5 million GP. I don't want to play this anymore. Well, yeah, no shit, right? The problem with Datacrons wouldn't exist if there was GP brackets. The problem with paying way too much money wouldn't exist if there's GP brackets. The only actual issue with the game is these artificial walls that are propagating at the 1.5 million, at the 3.5, and at the 5.5 million GP marks. Those walls, those three walls that have been created because of all the players who don't take GAC seriously and then ruin it for everyone else, regardless of how much money they're spending. Because let's say, even if you're a fucking whale, you're a whale, a new player to the game, you love Star Wars, you're like, holy shit, how have I not found this game before? My calling in life. I was born and baptized for the sole reason to spend money on Galaxy of Heroes. You're 1 million GP, you're playing a shitty 5 million, 6 million GP player who never spent a single dime, but doesn't care about GAC. What are you getting for your money? You're just getting dicked. There's no incentive to spend money in this game. There's no incentive to spend money on Datacrons. The only incentive in this game that exists that is in CG's favor is if you're already been playing for 5+ years and you're already 8 million GP plus. Because at that point, you've just spent so much money and you've spent so much time that your ego is like, I just must spend, I must spend, I must spend. Because you're afraid that you're getting skill squished, right? And then every subsequent skill squish fucks everyone else down the line, all right? Like if I started spending $1,000 a week, it would still be 6 to 9 months before any of the problems that I'm facing because of the GAC, non-GAC bracket system. It would be 9 months of $1,000 a week. Someone do the math for me on how much money that would be. More money than I obviously have, to alleviate even kind of. And then at that point, I would just get shafted by the other problems, which is that if I spend $500 on a single Datacron to get max rolls and everything, you're not going to win. So there's only one problem in this game. It's that there's absolutely no hope for anyone to even have a remotely fair matchup. Actually, that's not true. I was about to say there's no chance for anyone to ever have a remotely fair or fun matchup unless they're at the end game. Calvin Awesome's at the end game. Fatal's at the end game. Even Arnold sometimes, who spent over $40,000, maybe $50,000 on this game. All of these players just got skill squished to death. Fatal is Fatal is the only person that I've ever known to remod his entire roster, every single GAC, before lock-in, and then remod again after lock-in, just so that when his opponent scouts him out, they don't know what his actual mods are for the GAC until it actually starts. He's 9+ million GP, and I've never met a single player who is that dedicated to doing everything he can to win, and he's getting fucking dicked. There is not a single human being in this world that is enjoying this. And even, let's say, Loki. Loki is a top 5 GAC player in the entire world. Most of that's because of the money he spent, but even so, he's a great player. He's not playing GAC for his own problems, right? Let's just go up by GP and say where the issue is. It's all the same thing. It's all matchmaking. You're new to the game, 1 to 3 million GP. Your opponents are 3 to 4 million GP more than you. It sucks. You're 3 to 6 million GP. Your opponents have way more GLs, way more GP, and the Datacron problem becomes, because now they have way more R3s, R5s, so they can actually use their Datacrons. You can't, because God forbid, oh my goodness, no, Lord, please bless me, God forbid that you have a Gear 12, or, wait for it, a Relic 2 on your team, and you can't use a single Datacron on them. You get up to that 8 to 9 million GP range. Oh, now you're just too poor because you can't get those perfect data crowns. You're just too poor, right? It's no longer that they're bigger. It's just that you're too poor. And then you get to the very tippity top, right? Like, oh my God, APGAINS, how could you ever feel bad for the people who are spending $50,000, $70,000, $100,000 on this game? They play the same 8 people every single week, and now even they're not enjoying it. Even the people who have dedicated over $100,000 in this game have quit GAC and are only playing territory wars because they just play the same 8 people over and over again, and it's not fun. No one from the beginning to the end is enjoying GAC anymore. Oh, God. Loki's in Kyber 2. That's what I'm saying. Loki's a top 5 player. He's in Kyber 2 right now, Van Seal. Thank you. Like I've always said, this game is book club. It's not fun. We don't come here to read the fucking 50 Shades of Grey and beat our lady meats in front of each other in a wild orgy. It's book club. We show up to talk shit about our husbands and drink wine. That's all it is. The game exists because I love talking to you guys and fucking around in the game. The game exists because you guys love fucking around and talking to your guildmates and watch Arnold yell into his green screen, right? That's why the game exists. That's why the game has made $1.5 billion. Thank you for watching.